In 2004, from roughly years 2000 to 2005, I worked on this album called No One Said You Didn't, which was released in 2005 on Planet Mu. I spent most of my energy during that 5 years working on that album. It involved a certain number of processes that I just kept engaging in endlessly. And now I was my work was and has been, my professional work is I'm involved in real estate with my dad, multifamily apartment units. And so by 2005, we had started selling some. We also acquired a really big one in Las Vegas. Anyway, it was a really hectic time, and by 2005, I guess we already sold. No, chronology is even though financial transactions is a good, significant financial transactions a good way to mark history. When there's a number of them, it's easy to get them confused. Anyway, I had in 1994, I had completed 1 year of college at USC, and then I did real estate with my dad after the 1 year. So I went back to college in 2005. And so I had a bunch of, I didn't have very many credits from my first year in college. I didn't have, I had I think I dropped a couple of classes, and so I had about 6 classes completed. What is that, 24 credits or something? Anyway, so I went back to USC to get my undergrad degree. And one of the courses that I took, which was quite strong, it was a comparative religion course, and the professor was an older gentleman, and I forget what his religious affiliation was, which is good. But that we had a TA, because there's discussion sections. It's a big lecture. It's a lecture course, and then there's discussion sections, and that's the all your work is managed like through the TAs who manage the discussion sections. So my TA was a Mennonite, and I didn't know anything about. I didn't even know what that was, and she didn't talk about it at all either. So I'm still not so clear about Mennonites and their system, but there was a essay, and at the time I was like really into Nietzsche. And if you're familiar with Nietzsche, particularly Genealogy of Morals, you know that the thesis in Genealogy of Morals is that knowledge is generated by pain. If you want to get somebody to remember that something is illegal, then you can punish them. And if the pain is significant, they'll remember the pain and they'll associate that with the wrongdoing. And hey, you know, this is not exactly unfamiliar territory. It's not like he's just pulls this out of the blue, because I'm sure we know of similar principles related to the training of house pets or children. Anyway, so there was this essay that I was supposed to write, and it was on Gandhi. And I have no idea what the assignment was. And I'd even forgotten about double-spaced, the idea of like double space versus single space. And so I wrote 10 pages, single space. And it was a very well-researched paper. I mean, I got out a bunch of primary sources, and I have the paper somewhere. It was a paper on ahimsa, nonviolence, and particularly passages where Gandhi is demanding, he said, look, nonviolence, yes, but we are fighting. We are fighting. And so, from my clever, smart-ass Nietzschean perspective, I did Genealogy of Morals on Gandhi, and I was raising all kinds of Nietzschean heavy weather. Yeah, you're still fighting, and there are these passages where he's even answering the objection that the intuition is to fight back. And there are these lines where he says, yes, this is fighting back. We are fighting nonviolently. And my paper was horribly skeptical and cynical. And after writing it, I felt guilty. Because I thought, geez, Dimitri, you're making these cynical Nietzschean arguments against Gandhi for his nonviolent method. Well, welcome to philosophy. Hey, I was really into Nietzsche. you know, still am, but it changes. So I was pounding the table. Hey, Nietzsche, Gandhi is fighting. Gandhi is fighting, but he says it's nonviolence. So what's that mean? So I was trying to defend this view that actually fighting is fighting is fighting, no matter how you do it. And sure, and of course Nietzsche is full of stuff like this too. Says, yeah, well, all you beautiful souls, you're still using force and coercion, but you're just telling a nice story as an alibi, right? And that's kind of the vibe that I get from all these people in the U.S. government, Scott Bessent and whatever, Stephen Miller. Oh yeah, it's just power anyway. We're just dropping the the accoutrement or the alibi. We're dropping the euphemism. We're dropping the alibi. We're dropping the excuse. But the thing is that is missed by this approach is if you throw out all logic because you're cynical about morality, then that means you're throwing out all of the logic of the political structure of history, as though you have come from nowhere. And that's the genealogy of morals too. Where have you come from? My opinion is that more can be game theoretically projected based on evidence and knowledge that we have about Donald Trump, for example, his Switchblade collection when he was a child. Supposedly he had a box of Switchblade knives that he kept under his bed or something, and somebody caught on to it. That kind of excavation gets you the bare logical structure, and that thing is always going to be there because you're talking about the very core essential neuronal wirings of the individual. If you want to do game theoretic projection, you do genealogy of morals, right? Genealogy of morals plus personal history. Do genealogy of morals plus box of Switchblades equals Scott Bessent, right? I'm afraid we are going to have to pick fights, not physical fights. Conceptual fights. You are going to have to unrelentingly annihilate the capacity for certain individuals to apparently play cosplay and dance around as though they have theory, like Stephen Miller, Scott Bessent, Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, Pete Hegseth. They have no theory. The only theory that you need to concentrate on, and you can destroy all of them like this, is Bannon. We don't know how much Bannon knows. He knows a lot, and he reads. That's the source of. I mean, you knock out Bannon, they don't have any ideological materials to work with. But what I'm talking about is that you have to fight. nonviolently. You have to fight dialectically. If you think that you know something, you have to literally annihilate the arguments. I mean, worse than that, you have to annihilate the basis for speaking of your intellectual competitors. You have to make them feel so stupid that they don't dare open their mouths because they don't want to look stupider than you've already made them look. That's what we have to do. And if you don't have the courage to do it, you have to speak up and you have to let people know that you don't have the courage, but you are willing to help those who do have the courage. Right? We need to line up who is expected to stick their neck out and who is opting out. If you're opting out of sticking your neck out, then you've got to get behind somebody. Because to just sit and pretend that this isn't happening, no. Now that's a moral fault. This is moral fault. Everybody has to do something now. If you're in the United States, you have to resist this. Period.